There was something sacred about 6-on-6 that had to do with high school girls. And back then, the sport of basketball was the only sport that girls knew.
Women first played basketball around 1891. Girls basketball was much different then. Women's basketball started out slow because people thought that girls weren't tough enough for them to play 5-on-5 like boys did. Sandra Barrison, a physical education teacher, was the woman that created the sport we know of as basketball. In the beginning, there were 3 zones and 9 players on each team. Each team had 3 players in each zone. They weren't allowed to snatch the ball from the other team. Each basket was worth 1 point. No player was allowed to run with the ball more than 5 feet before passing it on. Girls also played on the grass outside in the courtyard. The basket was sewn shut, and when a goal was scored, the umpire would have to pull a string or chain that would pop the ball out of the bottom of the net. The only body parts were exposed in the public were fingers, neck, and head. These outfits were called bloomers. Proper women wore floor-length dress everywhere, including on the basketball court. That led to a few proper broken bones and proper black eyes, because we had a tendency to trip over our hems. The two-handed throw was declared a foul because it caused the shoulder to forwardly incline. In 1968, it was finally allowed to have a coach during a game at any time. Before, the women could only be coached at halftime. In 1971 was the first year of full-court 5-player game. In 1984, the ball size was made 1 inch smaller, otherwise the women were using the men's ball. In 1987, the 3-point field goal was introduced for any field goal completed when shot beyond a line set at 19 feet and 9 inches from the center of the basket.
All schools would play 5-player basketball.
Change is not always progress.
The bounce pass is allowed in 1918. In 1932, the women were able to guard each other in the game. In 1938, the court is now divided into 2 sections, rather than 3. Team sizes remain 6 players each still. So, over 100 years later, the game of girls basketball was changed, a lot, from its early beginnings. Come check out our Wolverines girls game this winter. Put it up, put it up.